I will repeat. So the limiting reactant is going to be that one ingredient that will runs out first, and that is going to make the least amount of product. So between bread and cheese, bread can make only 8 sandwiches, and cheese can make 40. But in the end, bread is going to run out first, so you won't have 40 cheese sandwiches. So in the end, that bread is going to be the limiting reactant because that one produces less amount of cheese sandwiches. So by mixing up the 36 breads and the 40 cheese, I'm going to make only, not unknown, now I know that I can make only 8 cheese sandwiches. So, question 1, which of my ingredients is the limited number of the sandwiches I can make? So, the ingredient that limits the sandwiches is bread. So I think I wish I had more bread to make more sandwiches. That's your thought, okay? When you want to make a lot of sandwiches and you don't have enough, you are thinking, oh, I need more bread. Simple as that. The ingredient you need to like buy in your mind, the one you need to buy, is going to be the limiting reactant because produces less product. Now, how many sandwiches I can make?
Eight.
Eight.
Hey,
Eight, okay? It doesn't matter that with the cheese you can make 40 sandwiches. If you run out of bread, you can make only those 8 sandwiches, nothing more, not the 40, just 8. So, how many sandwiches I can make? I can make 8 sandwiches. Now, the other question, how much of my starting material is left over once I am done making sandwiches?
32
32.
slices of cheese.
32 slices of cheese. Do I have bread as leftover?
No,
No.
Alright, no, I don't have leftover in bread. But in cheese, I had 40 and I used 8 slices to make 8 sandwiches. So the leftover is 32 slices. This is known as the leftover, and therefore this one sorry I just received a message and I forgot to do something. Oh, so annoying, so frustrating. Now I forgot the idea what I was saying. Okay, 32 slices is going to be the leftover, which means this ingredient, the 40 cheese, the cheese as an ingredient is going to be known as the excess reactant. So if you have more than 2 ingredients, you're going to have 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 8 excess reactants, but the limiting reactant is only one. Only one ingredient is the one that will run out first. So one limiting reactant against a lot of excess reactant. And the leftover, how you get it? The initial amount minus the amount you used. That's why. So how much of my starting material is over once I'm done making sandwiches? Well, my leftover is 32 slices of cheese, like that. Very simple example. But what if you have a recipe that have more than 2 starting materials? Here. Take a look. It says One of my favorite breakfast foods are ham and cheese omelets in the morning. I'm on a diet, so I always measure the amount of each ingredient I use. I always make omelets in case someone else wants one. Below is the recipe for my perfect omelet. So the recipe is 6 large eggs. Each egg is 200 grams. Okay, 1 cup of ham, 125 grams per cup, and 2 cups of cheese, 50 grams per cup. So what I'm going to make is I will translate this word problem into a chemical reaction. So this recipe has 3 ingredients. That means I'm going to have 3 reactants: eggs, ham, and cheese. So my recipe is 6 eggs that has 200 grams per egg, okay? How many grams in total are those? 6 times 200 gives you 1,200
1,200.
grams.
1,200 grams.
Then I have my other ingredient, that is 1 cup of ham. And it says that there are 125 grams per 1 cup. So how many grams I am using in total? I'm using 125. So
125.
it's going to be 125 grams. Now the other ingredient is cheese. It says 2 cups of cheese. Here I didn't put that is cup. Okay, 2 cups of cheese. And it says each cup has 50 grams. So how many grams I am using in total?
100.
100 grams.
100 grams. Now this gives me as a result how many omelets? How many omelets I can make with that recipe?
1.
It says
No, 2. Just 2.
just 2. Read the problem. It says I always make 2 in case someone else wants 1 omelet. So with all that recipe, I can make 2 omelets. Okay, so if I combine all these in total grams, how many grams of omelet I'm gonna have in the end? I just need to add the individual masses, okay, to have the result. 120, 1,200, sorry, 125, and 100 grams. How many grams in total I'm gonna have between the 2 omelets?
1,425.
So that will be my product, 1,425 grams of omelets. Now I need to answer the questions. It says, the first one says, how many omelets can I make for breakfast with all the ingredients I pull out from the fridge? It says, I open the fridge in the morning and I get 50 large eggs, 400 grams of ham, and 250 grams of cheese. That's what I have. And I need to see what is going to be my limiting reactant on this. I'm going to make this apart.
Cheese.
It's pretty obvious that it's cheese, right? Now let's make, I'm going to I just need a little bit more of space right here. Okay, so in the fridge, I have 50 eggs. I have 400 grams of ham, and I have 250 grams of cheese. So with the 50 eggs, how many omelets I can make? If I have 50 eggs, how many omelets I can make?
8.
8.
8.
Okay? Up to 8. So if I make this, it will allow me to make 8 times the recipe. This is how many times I can make the recipe. So one recipe gives me 2 omelets, remember. Now, for the ham, I have 400 grams. How many I can make?
3.
3. Or 400 divided by 125. That's the process, the mental process that I do, okay? Here, what I do is 50 divided by 6, and I put the whole number, okay? I just put the whole number. And here, the last one, 250 grams, allows me to make how many?
5.
So 250 divided by 100. Remember that I need 100, not 50.
2.5.
So it's going to give me 2.5, but as you cannot make 2.5, okay? 2.5 omelets. You can get up to 2. Okay? So let's put just the round numbers. Just for the round numbers, you can see that the ingredient that produces the least amount of omelets is the cheese. Okay? Therefore, this one, cheese, is going to be my limiting reactant. Now, eggs and ham both are going to be known as the excess reactants. Okay? Both are excess reactants. So, question 1. How many omelets I can make for breakfast with all of the ingredients I pulled out from the fridge?
2.
2.
2.
How many omelets? I can make 2 recipes. Each recipe gives me 2 omelets, okay? So that means that I can make twice one recipe that produces 2 omelets per recipe. So in total, I can make 4 omelets because the question says how many omelets I can make, not how many recipes. So in total, I can make 4. Question 2, what remains when I am done cooking all of the omelets? Let's calculate the remainings. If I can make twice the recipe, how many leftover I'm going to have from eggs, from ham, and from the cheese? I'm going to have also a leftover. How many I'm going to have? Remember that I can make only 2 times the recipe. That means that instead of using 6 eggs, I'm going to be needing 12 eggs. Okay, so I'm using 12 eggs. So this gives me a leftover of 38. For the ham, I had 400 grams, and I use how many?
250.
What is my leftover then?
150.
150 grams is the leftover. And of cheese, I'm going to have a leftover. But in the
200.
okay, I'm using 200. So I'm going to have a leftover of 50. But with 50 grams, I cannot make a recipe. Okay, that's why we have a leftover here. Now, in the chemical reaction, that is not going to happen. Okay, we're gonna use all the reactant, all the limited reactant. So the leftover, I'm gonna answer my question. So I'm gonna have 38 eggs that I didn't use, and I will have 200, okay, 150 grams of ham and 50 grams of cheese. But with those 50 grams, I cannot make a recipe. That's why I have a leftover. And then the third question says, what is the total mass of our cooked omelets? So I did how many omelets? The recipe
4.
gave me 2, okay? 2 omelets, but you are making twice the recipe. So in the end, you are making a total of 4 omelets, okay? So one recipe gives you 2 omelets. 2 recipes gives you 2 times 2, 4 omelets. We can apply the same for the mass. In one recipe, you have 1,425 grams of omelet. In twice the recipe or 2 recipes, so you're going to have 2 times 1,425 grams. So how much, what is the total mass of our cooked omelets?
2,850 grams.
2,850 grams. So of cooked omelets. That is all I can make. So you kind of understand the concept, right? You have been in this situation before. Even though you are not with a calculator to analyze all this, you kind of do it mentally. So like this, we're gonna be working in chemistry to know how much product I can get from a chemical reaction. Do you have a doubt in the 2 problems that I use? The key is understanding the word problem, okay? Because if you get confused and you put that 6 eggs, 1 ham, and 2 cheese cups produce 1 omelette, it's going to be incorrect, okay? The amount of omelettes that you're going to get, it will be incorrect. Now, as you can see, the process is kind of obvious. So you have to be thinking, I mean, common sense, that's all you need for this kind of exercises. But of course, you know, in a chemical reaction, you're not going to have simple ingredients like eggs, cheese. You're going to have to get molar masses and etc. But the general idea, the general concept can be reduced into a kitchen recipe. So this is it for today. This is it. Have a great weekend, guys. If you don't have any doubt, you can leave the meeting. If you have a doubt, stay.
Bye, man.
See you, miss.
Bye, mate. Take care.
Bye, miss.
Okie dokies.